form. And we need to convert them to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. All right, now if you're watching this video, it means that you either missed a few days of class or some days of class, or you're just kind of behind and you're struggling to get caught up, because we actually did this in class. All right, but I want to provide this to you guys, so if you need the help, you have it available to you. I'm going to do all the odd numbered problems right here as a review. All right. All of these we're going to approach the same way. In fact, I'm going to solve several of them at the same time because I want you to see the similarities. Okay? Standard form is the form ax plus by equals c, and that's right on your formula chart. Okay? Let me show you where they are on the formula chart. This is your reference paper that you get anytime you want, including during the EOC test. It's in your test booklet. Okay? The middle, toward the middle, is the linear equation section. These are all different forms of a line equation, an equation of a line. The one we like is this one. It's called slope-intercept. It gives you the slope and the intercept, the y-intercept. The one we're looking at now is called standard form. It's just a different form, and you can get y by itself and turn it into slope-intercept. That's what we're going to practice on this video. Okay, so every time I'm going to put a box around the term that has my y. There I have a negative y. Here I have a plus 2y. Here I have a plus 4y. Here I have a minus or negative 5y. When you look at it in context of the problem, that's seen as a minus sign. But if you look at it by itself as just a term, that's seen as a negative 5y. Okay? That's the difference. Here I have a positive 8y. That's the first step every single time. Find your y variable. Okay? Now that we've found it, we're actually going to leave it alone. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and put my wall on every one of these. I want to move everything except the y across this wall. So I'm ignoring the y and everything else in the box, and I'm moving the other term. This 3x has to go over here across the wall. This 2x across the wall. How do we do it? We have to move it by using opposite math. Okay? If I do a math on one side, I have to do it on the other side to keep my equation balanced. So I specifically want to add stuff to both sides, but I want to, not just any number, I want to add whatever it takes to cancel that out. So the opposite of a positive 3x is a negative 3x. Okay, I'm going to add that to both sides. The opposite of a positive 2x is a minus 2x, or a negative 2x, really is what you should call it. The opposite of a positive 8x is a negative 8x. The opposite of a positive 3x is a negative 3x. The opposite of a positive 2x is a negative 2x. See? The equation is still balanced. It's still equal because I did the same thing on both sides. Now, I specifically chose the opposite because I want the left side to cancel. 3x minus 3x is 0. It's gone. Okay? This minus this is 0. It's gone. That minus that is 0. And so on and so on. They all cancel. Now, I can't say negative 10 and negative 3 gives me negative 13x. I can't do that because they're not like terms. These are not like terms, and neither are these. None of these are like terms. The best I can do is just write them side by side. Okay? Now, since I want y equals mx plus b, I don't have to do this, but it's a good practice to go ahead and write the x term first. So I'm going to write negative 3x, and that 10 has a negative in front, so I'm going to put minus 10. And what do I have over here? I still have the same thing that I had before, the negative y. Okay? Here I have negative 2x plus 16, because he's positive. And over here I have 2y. Here I have negative 8x minus 24, and the 4y over here on the left. Here I have negative 3x minus 15, and I have negative 5y. And here I have negative 2x. That 24 is positive, so I put plus 24, and here I have 8y. Okay, do you remember the final step? Y is not by itself yet, not on any of these. Even this one, there's a negative sign there. That's a little invisible negative 1, okay? The opposite, oh, by the way, first of all, with the number with the y, the coefficient we call it, that number is being multiplied with the y. So we do opposite math again, and now opposite math this time is division. So I'm dividing both entire sides by negative 1, okay? Now since that's a really involved step, I'm going to do each of those problems individually now instead of doing every problem at once, okay? So here that cancels, and I'm left with y on the left by itself. And here I have negative 3 divided by negative 1. It gives me positive 3. And here negative 10 divided by negative 1 gives me positive 10. So that is my slope-intercept form. All right, here I have both sides are dividing by 2. That cancels. Negative 2 divided by 2 is going to be negative 1x. I can just write it as negative x. And 16 divided by 2 is 8. So I get y equals negative x plus 8. Here, I'm dividing both sides by 4. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2 with the x attached. Negative 24 divided by 4 is negative 6. So I have y equals negative 2x minus 6. Here I have divide both sides by negative 5. Notice each time I'm dividing the number here, the coefficient of the x by that bottom number, and the b number by the bottom number to get the real b number, okay? So negative divided by negative is positive, so I have positive 3/5 x, and negative divided by negative is positive again. Negative 15 divided by 5 is positive 3. So now I have y equals 3/5 x plus 3. The last one here on this section, we have, we're dividing both sides by 8. Y equals, and then negative 2 divided by 8 is going to reduce to negative 1 over 4. You can do that in the calculator. Positive 24 divided by 8 is just going to give me 3. Now guys, it's easy to get bogged down in these steps. Now notice all those first steps were easy, easy, easy. People tend to get bogged down when they see all this stuff happening at the end. Take it one step at a time and you'll be okay, all right? But do not give up. Keep working on these. I'm going to quickly do 3 more and we'll be done with this worksheet on the video. So 11 and 13 for this section. I need to get whatever the given variable is. I need to get it by itself. It's k. So this time I'm going to put a box around that term because that's the one that has the variable that needs to be by itself. So I focus on the other stuff on that side, that plus 5. Get rid of that with opposite math. 7 minus 5 is 2. So here's what I have. I have 4 over 7 times k equals 2. And most people, they hate this problem because they hate fractions. But if you just do the same thing that we do every time, and that is opposite math, you can do the heavy lifting in the calculator, okay? What's the opposite of multiplying by a fraction? The opposite would be divide by the fraction. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4/7. Remember, any number divided by itself is 1, so that cancels. Now I have to, on the right side, divide 2 by 4/7. And that can be a little tricky if you do it by hand. If you're watching this video, it means you're kind of having trouble. So I'm going to show you a way to do it in the calculator. 2 divided by, and I'm going to put in the 4/7 as a fraction. Control divide, 4 over 7. It does all the math for you right there. 7 over 2 is what you get. So K is equal to 7 over 2. All right? The last one, 4x minus 3 equals 2x minus 5. Okay? I'm going to rewrite that so I can see a little better. All right, so I need to get all the x's by themselves. This one's different because I have an x on the left and I also have an x on the right. I need to get all those x's together on one side. So I decide to move this guy over here. It doesn't matter. You can move the 4x over there. It doesn't really matter as long as you start with a plan and stick with it. So I'm going to move this x over here by doing opposite math, minus 2x on both sides. 4x minus 2x gives me 2x. So since I move the x's over to the left and my end goal is to get x by itself, I want to make sure I move the other numbers to the other side. So this negative 3 is going to go to the right. So I'm going to do plus 3 plus 3. Negative 5 plus 3 gives me negative 2. So I have 2x equals negative 2. My last step is to divide away this 2. And then you have negative 2 divided by 2, you have negative 1. So x is negative 1 on that one. Okay? So let's go ahead and do this one, which we actually did in class on most of the periods, but if you weren't in class, I'll do it again for you. A taxi cab company charges $2.10 plus 80 cents per mile. Okay? Perry Meter, that's a person, paid a fare of $11.70. Okay, so we've talked about different types of problems. This problem is from the beginning of the year, where if you see the words per, each, and every, they're helping you find the slope, and we've used that whenever we're dealing with a slope-intercept type of pattern rule, okay? So when you deal with slope-intercept in a word problem, the B is my one-time number, something that happens once, and the M is my over and over number, something that's happening more than once. It's happening over and over. Okay, I showed you this little hint thing in class, okay? In a word problem, the M happens over and over, and the B happens one time. There's like a big 1 built in. And the letter M itself, you make an over and over motion to make it. So what's happening only once in the situation? You're only paying $2.10 once. What's happening over and over? You're paying the 80 cents over and over every mile. Remember, the words per, each, and every help you find the slope. They help you find the M number, all right? So that's my M number. It's happening every time over and over per mile. So my equation is y equals 80 cents times x plus $2.10. Now we don't stop there. It gives us a value, and we have to figure out if that value is x or y. Well, what are we multiplying the 80 cents by? We're multiplying it by the number of miles. Remember, the word per also means multiply. 80 cents times miles, right here, 80 cents times the miles he drove, plus $2.10, that should give us the money he paid. So that this $11.70 is not miles, it's the money he paid. So they actually give us the y value. So I'm going to rewrite it with the $11.70 plugged in for y. Okay? And now I actually have to solve for x. So to get x by itself, I put a box around that term. That's what I want by itself this time. Minus 210 minus 210. 1170 minus 210 is $9.60. You can do that in the calculator. And then you have the 80 cents times x. The opposite of multiply is divide by 80 cents. When you put in $9.60 divided by 80,